Hey guys, Riven of Ash here. I wanted to show you guys some dark build invasions. I don't usually play with dark builds because I find them quite unbalanced, but it has been a few months since I played with one, so I decided to give it a go. This specific invasion right here is one of those invasions where I have to beat them on a 2v1, on a neutral 2v1 if you want, because there's no mobs for me to use. If I jump down there, probably they won't follow me. Here's a turn and burn with the R2, which is really good on the Onyx Blade because of its length. And probably the way to get the way out from downstairs, if you wish, it's closed, so I can become locked if they don't go down there, or it would become a waiting game, and I want the challenge of fighting these guys 2v1. So this guy goes for the running attack. They are playing rather aggressively, which is good for me. That gives me more options such as backstabbing. Now I go for the crow quills, and this guy clearly doesn't want to heal in my face and get punished for it, so he's hiding behind the other guy who's still being quite aggressive. And here I managed to get one R1, but then this guy shows up, and here I thought that I could get him before his hyper armor started, but I was wrong. So now I want to change my tactics, and I go for the sellsword. Now the sellsword twin blades are really excellent weapons, but they have some shortcomings. And one of them is that in order for you to appeal to their strong suit, you need to be really close to them, to your opponent, and you have to do the full combo. And in situations like this, I need to be very careful and not get greedy. And here I go for the combo because I thought that the other guy had no more stamina, but he still had stamina for two R1s, and he nearly popped my Tears of Denial. This is one of the other advantages of a dark build, which is to have Tears of Denial without big stat spread, or a greater stat spread than in other builds. So I'm just trying to manage these guys. I'm trying to roll through everything, but these guys are playing pretty well together. They are not splitting up. They are not giving me a lot of chances. So now I decide to go for the Chaos Dagger to kill one of them, because that's what Chaos Daggers do in these builds. So I chug to entice his running attack, then I go around him and I one-shot him. So now this fight became much easier, and this guy, his behavior changed. Now he's playing much more defensively. He is backpedaling, and I'm just rolling through his attacks. Another thing that really made this fight easier for me was that they were both using ultras, and this arena right here has a considerable size. So in smaller arenas I wouldn't have faced them 1v2, but now I have the opportunity to do so because this is this arena has quite a lot of space. And now this guy was backstabbed, and he is really weak. I hit him with the Hunter Charm. This is something that I'm trying to do more and more against ultras, vertical swing ultras, which is to roll against him and end up in a situation where he cannot hit me with his R1s, the vertical swing R1s, and in here it worked really well. I could have gone for the full combo, but he was one shot from being dead, and so that wasn't necessary. This invasion was an interesting one here in the Ringed City. I spawned up here, and in this location I try never to fall down and lose the verticality advantage, which is so important here. So I have the Silver Cat ring equipped, and I'm trying to locate the opposing party. It's really important to maintain this advantage here, because that can shift the whole dynamic of the invasion. So I see that they are killing some mobs down there. I'm trying to locate them in order to go for a plunging attack. I also have the Onyx Blade out because that can maximize my attack damage. my plunging attack damage, because the other weapons I have here are the sellsword and the dagger. So I buffed the Onyx Blade, and I'm trying to aim for the knight, because they are standing really close to the knight, and I direct my plunging attack in the general direction of the knight, because they were tightly packed around them. And now this invasion could have ended right here. These guys are in full panic mode, at least the host is, and this is one disadvantage of the Onyx Blade, because it's a great sword. It has really low chase down capabilities. It's a much more defensive weapon than an offensive or chase down weapon. So at this point I know that the white is coming for me, and I know that they are probably pretty aggroed because of the plunging attack. So it really changes the dynamic to start the engagement with the plunging attack or with the backstab, because they feel threatened and they become much more aggressive. So I see that all the Herald Knights are dead, and this took me off balance, because this guy would never have hit me if not for the stairs. And then I get the Events Cascade, and then the other guy hits me with his Murakumo. Here I go for the Turn and Burn R1. I just want to throw one R1 and not two R1s, because I know that the white is following suit. This is a really easy way to avoid running attacks, which is just to unlock and then go in a different direction, and that threw the host off me. Now the giant gets aggroed, and now we have to reset the fight. So this fight reset to neutral, and I don't want to be too aggressive. I want them to do the first move, and I'm aiming to parry the Murakumo. And this guy, by buffing his weapon, I know that he's going to be aggressive. So I have my parry tool out, and I see that he wants to flank me. And so I stop before he attacks to increase my stability, to make the parrying easier. And now I go for the Chaos Dagger, and he's one shot, because that's what Chaos Dagger do in dark builds. And this guy was about to get parried, but the bug intervened, and now this invasion is all about over. Clearly the White Phantom was the more experienced one, and this guy was the beginner. So I even managed to kill him with the greatsword. Now this invasion in Archdragon Peak was also an interesting invasion. It was against a lone host, and some blues were being summoned. And now I get this blue. He was probably farming for Concords. It's not Old Hunter German. He's not from Germany. He's German man. So well, I managed to kill him in 2 hits, not because I'm doing a lot of damage, but because he had no HP. So it's the low vigor meta we sometimes see as an invader. So I get the second blue. I immediately attack him, but now the host comes up and he's using, I think that's the large club. It's not the great club, I think. So I need more space, and so I go for the turn and burn. The PS4 skipped here a little bit, and I managed to do some damage, and I see that the host is pretty aggressive. So I go for the mobs. That's the plan. These mobs right here are pretty tough, and this will give me the opportunity to heal and restart the fight. Now the host did a really good play, which was to use the seed, and now it's my time to play. It's my turn to play, and there's not really an easy answer here. I could have done several things here. I could have gone to near the bell where the Nameless King was summoned, but I choose to stay and wait for the seed to wear out. And I'm doing a pretty good job. I had a pretty good health. I'm pretty healthy right now, so. And this is where I made the big mistake of this invasion. I should have been greedy in this situation. And now things escalate. I was greedy in that situation, and I shouldn't have been. If the seed was off, I could have resetted the fight to neutral easily. But now, against two aggressive opponents, especially the blue was pretty aggro. This was what lost me the invasion. I should have been more patient and refrained from attacking until the seed wore off. This was also a cool invasion in the Grand Archives against these two guys. So I see that one of them is using the Farron Greatsword, and the other one is using a straight sword, and they are kind of confused if they should go for me or for the knight. And here I see something really strange. He goes, the Farron Greatsword user goes for the R1 instead of going for the L1. And so I know that he's gonna go for the R1 again, and so I go for the backstab. All is simple right here, but and now this also gave me the advantage of them being really aggroed on me. I tried to go for a second backstab against the Sunbro, but I whiffed. Now my job here is to protect the mob, because this mob can do a lot of damage, especially with the crystal weapon like he's having, like with the buffed crystal weapon. So I'm being able to cause some damage, and this fight is going really well. But now this guy gets two R1s in me, and I need to back off. So at this point, this guy guard breaks me. This is a vice, if you want, from playing at higher soul levels for so much time, because I usually have a much bigger stamina pool that would have allowed me to withstand that attack. Now I go for the turn and burn against the Sunbro, and I immediately try to lock to the host, but I miss, and now I'm one shot from being dead. And now I know that they are smelling blood and they are really aggroed on me, which is good and bad at the same time. It's good because you want people to be aggroed on you. That gives you a lot more chances, a lot more options, but you're also one shot from dying. Now, I was really proud of this moment right here. I was able to get my healing off with two guys chasing me and not be punished for it, so I was really proud of this play. Now I go for the dagger. The dagger is a very good anti-pressure weapon because it comes out really fast and they cannot do a lot about it. Now the host went for the katana and I went for the parry right here. Now I know that the host's reflexes are not that fast, so in order for me to parry I need to be standing still a little bit more time. So I'm still locked on the Sunbro, which is not a problem, and I stay put for a while in order for the host to get his bearings and make my parrying him easier. So I go for the one shot because that's what Chaos Daggers do, and I'm able to kill him. Now this invasion was also a fun invasion in the archives, in the beginning of the archives. And when I spawn, I'm worried that the host might be somewhere near here, but I see that he's not. And this guy is clearly fearful of me, and he's using a Shield of Wand, and he's also a pyro with PvE pyromancies, if you wish. So he has a straight sword, a dark sword, so I'm not too worried about him because I have hyper armor, he does not, so I can trade with him whenever I want. And also this guy cannot parry me, so I don't see this fight going well for him. But he is taking his time, he's not being aggressive at all, he's being really cautious. Now this turns into a Sticky Bandit video with 3 roll catches. Which is staggered R1s. It's how you should play with great swords. So now a blue gets summoned, and I take the time to go really fast, go for the one-shot backstab, because that's I took my opportunity. A lot of blues are often AFK, and if he's not moving, even if he's using the Untrue Dark Ring, which probably makes him a better player than most blues, he was probably AFK. And actually I invaded with this Sensei guy in later invasion, so probably he was a good player, but he was AFK for a moment, and I was able to kill him. Now another blue gets summoned, and this guy has a weird behavior. He goes for the Perseverance weapon art on his Black Knight sword, and then he goes for the charged R2. Which is not a good strategy, because once he pops Perseverance, I will never challenge him. And now I know that he goes for the charged R2. And so this guy is pressuring me, and I go for 2 R1s. I know that he's gonna go for the Perseverance, and I have time to roll out because he's going for those crazy R2s. Again, this is just a matter of outspacing the host. Most people go for 2 R1s, and so I outspace him and go for an R1 myself. Now this attack took a lot of my stamina, and again, this is a problem I have from playing too much time at meta levels where I have more stamina, and I'm able to withstand much more stamina damage. Again, I go for the R1, and I wasn't expecting this guy to go for the R2, which has much more range on his Astora, and so he clips me, but I'm able to use the mob to regain my health again and reset the fight. And now I have the Llewellyn out. I want to parry if I can. I roll under his pyro and I wait him for the roll catch. Now the blue gets here, and so I just go for 1 R1. R1 discipline is one of the most important things in invasions, and I'm able to outspace his attack and go for the 2 R1s. Now that R2 is never gonna catch me, but I see that he's wearing little armor. So I want to trade with him to set up the restart parry, and then I go for the parry. And then I go for the Hornet Ring Chaos Dagger riposte, and of course, I one-shot him. Such is the way of the dark build. Now this next invasion takes place in the Drag Heap, and this is a good place for me to engage the party. And I whiffed the jumping attack. I was really indecisive if I should go for the host or the Sunbro. So I go around his pyro, and I managed to poke his butt with the Onyx Blade. I went for the backstab. Now I want to see what these guys can do. Only now I know that this guy right here is an overleveled Phantom. And he goes for he has the Twin Prince's Great Sword, and I really didn't think that this would hit me, but the Twin Prince's Great Sword is really dangerous against overleveled Phantoms, so I need to keep an eye out. Now I heal badly and I get punished for it, so that was my bad. I go for too many rolls. I didn't expect him to swing like 5 times or 6 times or whatever. But this situation right here is not good for me, because one of them is an overleveled Phantom with long-range capabilities, and the other one is a Pyro, and so I need to back off. And ideally I would have jumped, but I don't want to make that too simple, because I don't want them to plunge attack me. So I go here and I run to the other side in order to heal safely, and this Black Flame just went in the other direction. I thought I had juked the Black Flame. So this guy went for the halberd or red hilted halberd, I'm not sure, and now it's the time to jump. I have some health. One of them, the overleveled Phantom, is going for sorceries, so I know that probably he will take some time to change for his weapon, and now I feel comfortable in jumping here. I was fighting in close quarters against those guys, and that didn't fit me at all, and I also had no mob support. Now I go for the Sacred Chime of Filianor, and I go for Blast Cestus to maximize passive healing, and I just wait for them. This arena right here is much better, and these guys were getting really aggressive, and those tight spaces didn't suit me at all. So I decided to change the arena for this one. Now I know that the Ethereal Oak Shield, which is what he's using, doesn't have a lot of stability, and that's why I two-hand the Greatsword. I think it does more stamina damage, and I'm able to guard break him in 2 hits. It was a little bit faster than I expected, or else I would have changed for the Chaos Dagger for the one-shot. Now I'm fighting against the Host. The Host doesn't have a lot of hit points, but I know that the Sunbro is going to attack me, and so I'm really ready to dodge at the moment's notice, and I managed not to take any damage from him. And now I'm fighting against 2 casters, so I opt to stay at the distance and wait for them to waste their FP. The idea right here was to plunge attack them, which is something that I have done before, but I managed not to get the plunging attack, and then the Host hits me with his Chaos Fire Roar. I managed to get the Sunbro with an R2, a one-handed R2 on the Onyx Blade, which is a very useful poke. The Onyx Blade has a very good moveset, if a bit of an underwhelming weapon art. And it's also the longest greatsword, so it's really good for outspacing people. Now I see that the Sunbro is trying to flank me, so I go back a little bit. I know that the Angel is up there, so we are at the standstill. And now I see that these guys were getting hit by the urns, and this guy gets hit again. And this guy is reacting very aggressively to the urns, so I go for the Barker Bombite here, and it works. Even nowadays it works. and the fight is over. I didn't felt the need to go for the Chaos Dagger. So this was also an interesting fight against 2 guys on Archdragon Peak, and I need to be somewhat aggressive here because I don't want them to go through the Fog Gate. Now what I want to do here is to outspace. That's why I'm two-handing and not being too aggressive, because I know that this guy is going for the Frida's weapon art, and I know that the other guy is throwing Soul Spears at me, but I thought that I could maybe kill the Sunbro, and I came really close. But now I need to heal. Survivability comes first, and I noticed that these guys are really aggressive. This is not a good point to fight here, but now I have good health to buffer their attacks, so I won't be killed easily now. The Sunbro still goes for the Elfrida, weapon art, and for Frida's Greatsword weapon art. Now I go for the Sacred Chime of Filianor, and the range on the Soul Mass surprised me, and I didn't think I would be hit, but I was. And now we come at the standstill. They don't want to come outside, and I really don't want to come here. And I punished the Host because he was buffing his staff on my face, so I went for the rolling attack. Now I want to come here, but my mindset is not an aggressive mindset. I want the Host to use his Soul Spears. This is more a way to waste their resources than for me to do some damage. As you see, I'm being very passive. I'm not doing any damage to them, and he manages to waste 3 Soul Spears. Now this guy, he's using the Frida's Great Sitar ones, and I can poise through those, and that's why I engaged him. If he was using the weapon art, I probably would have backed down, but against the normal R1s, I can outpoise them without problem with the Greatsword. Now I'll go for the turn and burn, and I should have rolled here, and this guy hits me with 2 hard ones from the great side. I take the time to heal, and I see that this guy probably wants to attack me. So I go for the restart parry after I block the running attack, and I go for the Chaos Dagger. That nearly one-shots him. It doesn't one-shot him. So now I really need to pressure the Sunbro, or else he will heal again, and we'll be back at square one. So I know that the host cannot one-shot me with the Moonlight Beam, from the Moonlight Greatsword, and so I take out the Sunbro. Now I rolled. I mistimed the spacing on my roll, and this enables the host to trade with me, and he does much more damage than me because he also has more HP, so this was not a good trade. But I know that if I get my spacing right, I can hit him before he can hit me, and that's what I'm banking here, and it works. Now I don't have any stamina, so I have to go for staggered R1s for all catches. I cannot go for 2 R1s. I didn't mean to kick him here. But now as he goes to heal, I have the stamina for 2 R1s, and down he goes. So that's it for this episode, guys. I'll have a one-on-one with Raven or a random weapon invasion up soon. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.